Hey Gemini, this is your general tarot reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon and Ascendant, rising sign for the month of December. Gemini, this is going to be a real month for you where you begin to step through and transform in a huge way. It's like the big leveling up is happening for you where you are really, really now working to move past many of those fears that have been hanging around you for a long time now. And you're moving past your fears and into a much better place for you, because here's what we do know that all our success always lies beyond our fears, and I feel that's what's happening. I'm moving beyond my fears, taking a risk, taking a chance, going for it, trying something, even though there's a feeling of, oh my God, somebody's just only taken off the stabilizing wheels on this bicycle. I'm only learning how to do this. There's a fear. Can I do this on my own? Can I figure this out on my own? Can I make it happen? You're moving beyond all of those fears. And as I said, the success lies beyond all of those fears. But you have allies helping you, which is a good thing, Gemini, because I think some of you might have felt over the longest period that people were working against you. People, maybe even in some extreme cases, you probably discovered people were deliberately sabotaging you or pitting themselves against you. And now it seems that this is going to be dealt with this month. I am getting rid of all the shadiness. I am getting rid of people triggering me into a kind of, a paranoid response. They looked funny at me. They did something weird to me. And I'm not saying that you were being paranoid. I feel that there was a moment where you said, I'm not mad here. I actually think that the universe is kind of working against me. It's going against my happiness or my ability, and it's just sinking me in fears. It changes, because those fears are going to disappear. From fear to disappear, get the hell out of here. That's what it's like. And who are your allies? Well, Mercury dips into Scorpio this month and it has a conversation with Mars. Mars in Scorpio. This is very intense. This is where Mars, who's very aggressive but also very provocative, I dare you, I challenge you, in with Scorpio, who is the one who says, dare me and I will really go in for this. Challenge me, provoke me, and I will really give it 100% until there's nothing left. So you've got Mars hanging out in Scorpio, sitting there in the Scorpio bar, like some off-world bar in Star Wars, kind of with the squint and the alcohol, and you kick the door of the saloon open and say, Mars, I need your help. I need your help. I need you to help me get beyond my fears. And in some cases, it might be a challenge because Mars is very direct. He'll say, what are your fears? And you'll say, well, I have a fear of getting ahead in business. I have a fear of handling my money in a certain way. I have a fear that I'll never be able to get my business, my money organized. I have a fear that I'll always be broke. I have a fear that I'll never get into a kind of relationship where I feel fully supported. I have a fear that I'll never get my happiness back. So Mars is saying, so let's tackle this now. And he might throw a bunch of fears at you, kind of like, well, I'm throwing these at you, fight back, because he's tough. And in Scorpio, he goes very deep, so he'll dig up some real big fears and, like I said, throw them at you, but not to hurt you. He's like your best coach, playing tennis or whatever. He's saying, it's coming at you. Fight back. Fight back. Don't fight dirty. Don't fight mean. Fight fair, but fight back. So that seems to be very strong. Whatever these fears that have been accumulating are, fight them. Fight them. And after a while, it'll be terrifying at first, but after a while, like the movie The Matrix, when they're pouring the bullets at Neo, and after a while he's just, it's like, this is nothing to me. It's I don't have to make a big effort to get past these fears that I was once terrified of. So that's huge. So you have one ally in there. Then Mercury says, right, I'm feeling stronger. I'm going to move into Sagittarius. And he's moving in on December 9th. And in there, that's in the 7th house for you, where there are other people. And the sun is in there. So Mercury is talking to the sun, the successful one, and saying, how do I become successful now? I've gotten over my fears of certain relationship situations. For me, it's a lot of like feeling like I'm very unprotected in this world, feeling like nobody is watching out for me. Who's watching out for me? I feel very vulnerable. So now that you're able to fight your fears, you go into the sun and have a conversation in the 7th house. And the 7th house says, you need people, you need allies, you need to join forces with people, you need to work with people, you need to say if it's business or career or a project, you need to bring people in. Don't do it on your own, because that'll only feed the fear. Saying, I can't do it, I can't do it. Have people around you strategically encouraging you, creating with you, and more importantly, bringing success to you. If there was ever a month, Gemini, to surround yourself with successful people, forward-thinking people, positive people, motivational people, this is the month. Surround yourself with the winners, and you are learning how to become that again. You know, I'm not saying how to learn to be that, because you're already that. It's just the fears had gotten so overwhelming for a while. You have to go in now and remember how to really stand up. And you need people, and they are coming your way. So then at the end of the month, around the 29th of December, Mercury feels stronger. And Mercury goes into Capricorn and says, into the 8th house with all the other energies in there, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, the one who brings the blessings, the new moon solar eclipse, new beginnings. Venus is also in there for a little while this month. But in you arrive then to the 8th house and say, I've learned what I've needed to learn. I've learned that it was a blessing that I had to get rid of certain toxic people out of my life. I've learned that it was a blessing to spend a huge amount of time on my own, very focused on myself for a while, because in doing that I was allowed to have a certain level of self-analysis and dig deep and figure out what needs to be transformed. And I had been terrified of that feeling for so long, but now I see it was a blessing. So I'm arriving here now to receive my blessing. And for me, Gemini, it feels like two things. The first blessing is that feeling of no matter where I go, on my own, I can still be self-supportive. I can support myself. I can be my biggest cheerleader. I can motivate myself. I can make huge life-changing decisions in my life without feeling, but what if I can't cope without? I can do it on my own. But more than that, because I've learned I can do it on my own and I don't need anybody's help, now I'm in a better space to actually be open to receiving other people and receiving their blessings, the right people, the right help, the right relationships, the right friendships, the right support, the right key people who will help you move up in your career perhaps, or help you increase your money. Jupiter in the 8th house, increase your wealth in some cases, and your long range wealth. And you're saying, you know, I went through all of that hardship in a way to break me down. And I had to be broken down because I was too small. In some cases, Gemini, I feel more like the energy of having to shed my skin. I've outgrown this. If I have to get bigger, I have to shed the old skin, and that's painful. And when the new you emerges, there is a certain wonderful newness. You're bigger, stronger, better. But there's also a tenderness to that. So you also still have to be kind to yourself this month as you're going through this huge transformation, which the right people seem to be helping you with. I'm going down this route here too. There might be challenges from other people. For me, it feels like, as I said, the lesson from Mars. I'm going to throw a bunch of shit at you, Gemini, from toxic people, bitchy people, snidey people, people who have too much to add, but yet actually adding nothing of value. And I'm going to bring them your way this month. I want to see you fight this back. and again, to fight fair. I don't want you to run in a corner and say, why do they hate me so much? Why do they work against me so much? Why do they challenge me so much? What did I ever do to them? No. Say, this is nothing to do with me. If they weren't pointing their snidiness at me, they'd be pointing it at somebody else. I'm getting a gift this month of weird, odd, difficult, challenging people maybe coming my way. And my gift is to flex my muscles and to show them how I can dismiss them like flies, because it doesn't get me here anymore in the way that it did before. I'm not triggered by those malicious people in some cases. Now, it might not be very big. It could be something small, snidey people. I'm just not triggered by them anymore. So I feel by the end of this month, and even going through January, it's that feeling of, I shouldn't have worried so much about my path in life. I shouldn't have worried so much about all the changes that were happening in my life. I shouldn't have, because it was just fate. It was just my destiny to grow beyond all of this. And eighth house is a huge transformation, but it is also very often a painful process to go through. But I feel that you're really beginning now to come through the worst of it, because your confidence is coming back, Gemini. I really, really like that for you. Now, before we get some last cards here, we have we've two success cards coming out side by side, the two Leo cards. Yeah, communicating, collaborating, speaking to the right people, to the clean people, to the savvy people, to the winning people, to the bright people brings this success. I feel this month there's a real, with Mercury in the 6th house, there's a real, I've got to get smart and cut out certain people here. They're too devious, too deceptive, I can't trust them. I just can't trust them. And if I can't trust them, I'll always be kind of wary of them. Nothing is growing. We're not creating anything. Nothing positive is blossoming from this connection. I'm cutting them out and now only focusing on the ones who will make me blossom and encourage me to succeed in everything I'm doing. So that's very strong. Very, very strong, yeah. Two more cards, my love. So that's gorgeous. And again, with the full moon in Gemini, I feel, say, between the 8th and the 12th of this month, look, two beautiful cards. This is a Saturn card coming in with the blessing, releasing you from your fears, releasing you from what felt like even at times maybe a prison or a torturous place, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. He's saying, you've earned this. You've earned this. Here's your reward. Here's your gift. Here's your blessing. Because Gemini, you've bloody worked for it. And you absolutely deserve it. And part of that gift is this full moon happening in Gemini, which is the total transformation of you. And then a solar eclipse happening in Capricorn in the 8th house. A wonderful, wonderful moment where you are, as I said, being blessed. I feel something as you're going through this big leveling up. I feel many of you are going to really feel the blessings. You're going to see them. You're going to realize how blessed you are in your life, which might sound unusual for some of you, considering what many of you have been going through over the last 2 years. It's almost like a complete reframing of, yeah, I get how this was the pathway to my success and happiness and strength and future development. I get how this was my beautiful fate and destiny. So yeah, beautiful moments of enlightenment I feel happening for you, Gemini. So, my beautiful enlightened little Gemini, let's go over to your big grand, ta-da, overview. So, right at the start of the month, there's a real moment between you and either one person, a boss, a co-worker, a colleague, a partner, a friend, whoever this is. There's a feeling of that thing. Nothing is growing here. Nothing is evolving. Nothing is changing. I'm planting seeds in this friendship, relationship, connection, client thing. I'm planting seeds, and I'm not planting them in fertile soil because I'm not seeing anything grow from this here. I'm seeing nothing grow. So why keep trying? Why keep being like the farmer, patient through hail, rain, sleet, snow, all weather, hoping something good is going to come from this? Why have I given so much of my time and energy to this? I knew this was going nowhere, but I just went along with it because maybe I was afraid to come away from this connection with this person or this situation. I was really frightened because there's a feeling of, it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. This might be a shit situation, but it's better than nothing. At least I can try to create something in this shit situation and try to make it workable, try to bring all of my light to the situation, hoping that it's enough light to make something grow. But Gemini, there's just that feeling now straight out the gate, you're saying it's not enough. It was my fears that was keeping me connected to this situation or this person. And I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid to, in some cases, be really tough and sift out who's with me and who's against me. And what I feel with this card is that that's probably not something you really want to go into. It's like, can't we all just get along? Why are they choosing me and my life? Why are they making it so difficult for me? Look, I don't want to fight with anybody. Why can't we just get along? It's not going to work like that, my love. It's not going to work. I wish it did. Part of your transformation seems to involve you going in with the big scissors, even though you don't want to, even though it's not your style, even though it's like, oh, this is just awful, awkward, can't do this. You've got to have that sharp, precise, precision cut and say, I'm not beating around the bush here. Why do I get the feeling here that there's a kind of, and it kind of hurts me, Gemini, to think of this because you're very kind and you're nice, and I mean, you have your other side too. Let's not forget you have your other twin. But in most cases, Gemini, there's the feeling of, I just want everybody to get along. It would be so much easier. But sometimes that's not what's being asked. You're not being asked to be nice to everybody. For me, it's like you're asked to be like an adjudicator in your own life. I must judge whether somebody is bringing something, excuse me, positive to my life or not. I must judge it, and I must cut out, without any guilt or remorse, people who are just not up to it, not up to being my friend, not up to working with me, not up to collaborating with me, not up to being in a relationship perhaps with me. It's, if they're not making the grade, why am I here? Why don't I just cut it out? So that's coming in super, super strong. I know it's not something you probably like doing. But I just keep getting this image in my mind. I'm trying to see, maybe it's the sun and Sagittarius doing it, Capricorn energy. It's like Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, a big cluster of energy that's saying, take the power into your hands. Don't take any prisoners. Kind of make it clear. Know what you believe in. Stand your ground, and no more wishy-washy and, oh, this is shoddy as hell, but oh, come on, you can still be part of this project or this thing. No. You need a clean cut. The two knights facing each other, squaring off on each other. This is what's happening. This is you, air, the knight of air, realizing that you have to go in hard with somebody or some situation or something. It's almost like, for me, it's like somebody who's always letting you down, or who's always making you feel unsupported. It's almost like being triggered by at least one person or a group of people into fear mode. I've got to speak nicely to them. I've always got to play nicely. I've always got to behave nicely. I can't challenge them. I can't go in and attack. I can't dig at this. I can't really go in on this thing. I can't get the answers I want because they're too stuck, they're too stubborn, they're too fixed in their beliefs. This thing, again, it just keeps, I keep saying it because it's like a loop that won't go away, Gemini. A feeling of you have a responsibility now to observe other people's behavior, their work, their level of work skills, what they bring to the table, and judge it. And if it's not up to scratch, if it's subpar, then get rid of it. Maybe for many of you, you have a position in your work field, in your workspace, where you have to start getting tougher with the people you work with. Not letting, like if you're a manager, not always letting that person away with being late for work. Or if you've hired somebody, for example, or work with a colleague, and they're really not pulling their weight, there's a feeling of, why should I pick up the slack? It's not good enough. Relationships too, it's the same. Why am I always the one left to do all the hard trying? They've got to pick up the slack, and I've got to let that be okay. So Gemini, sorry if I'm really going into that now, because sometimes I get very insistent energy. It's very strong. It's like, keep pushing with this, keep saying this, keep pointing at this. And that's what it's like. You're not a bad person by making a good judgment. You're not an unfair person by making something fair. You're not a mean person by trying to bring some quality to a situation or to a relationship. And you're not an awful person for demanding that other people recognize your value and encourage you to grow. And it's not an awful person who would push the toxic ones away, who would have the kind of cutting edge sword to say, I hate to have to do this to you, but bye, bitch. That's not a negative. To have that level of control in your life is a positive. And with all the energy in the 8th house of having power and control, the sun in Sagittarius, to make wise decisions, fully backed up by Mars in the 6th house, who's saying, I'll help you fight those who stand against you. So all the energy is in that. No more letting people ride on your coattails. No more letting, for me, it's like subpar or substandard love, behavior, friendships. No more allowing that to be in your arena, in your field. And as I said, it doesn't make you a bad person to want better for yourself. Now, mid-month, a very Capricorn card. Again, this feeling, I feel the full moon in Gemini is going to do it to you. But remember, this is a blessing. This is a blessing where your sense of security might be thrown in to the kind of washing machine spin cycle. You might feel, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, can I really say that to that person? I'll hurt their feelings. I'd rather not point out the big elephant in the room because I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to do that. But then it's okay for them to be an asshole, but not okay for you to challenge that. That for me, it's like somebody or some situation or something has been undermining your confidence. It has been getting in on you. It has been making you feel sad, maybe very alone, and hopefully not Gemini, but maybe even depressed. because somebody or some situation over a period of time has made you feel exhausted or maybe not valued in some way. That's going to have to change, because if you love yourself, the Queen of Cups, the one who loves yourself, this is a Cancerian card. The North Node of Destiny is in Cancer, in your second house, where it's all about self-value, self-worth, self-esteem, knowing the true value of what you bring, how loving you are. People should really value me more. They should really value me more. And second house is also a lot to do with speech. Speak up, Gemini. It's almost like speak up, judge it. It's like black and white. It works, it doesn't work. It's successful, it's not successful. No grey areas. Speak up, cut clear, make a decision. And don't hold on to something that's not working for you out of fear. You've got to love yourself a whole lot more than that. And it's not like I'm saying you've got to love yourself, because that's not like a light switch that you can turn on. I think the full moon is bringing that to you. So when you feel that, start exploring that and be like the Queen. Sit back and say, I want more of this. I want to know my value. I said you have allies this month. I do feel that somebody might be stepping in, either telling you the value that you have, like somebody coming in and saying, why do you undersell yourself? Why do you underestimate yourself? Why do you underpromote yourself? Why do you, just generally, why undervalue yourself so much when you're so brilliant? Why do you do that to yourself? So I feel somebody's coming in as an ally. I strongly feel Aquarius, Leo energy. Somebody coming in with words of wisdom, sun, moon, or ascendant in Aquarius or Leo, telling you it's time to shine, Gemini, the Queen of Air. It's time to get your glow on again. It's time to get your success on again. But she did that how? She did it by being a bit, taking her emotions out of it and going in with the sword. She's calling down the sun, calling down all the good people. Yeah, I want to invite the sun in my life, the ones who can help my crop grow, my coin grow, my investments grow. I'm calling all of the good stuff into my life, calling all the good stuff. This is an SOS from Gemini. I am calling you in, and I have a knife in my other hand to chop anybody who doesn't bring me this warmth, who doesn't bring me this positivity, who doesn't help my confidence grow, who doesn't want to see the Queen of Air shine. So she is drawing in success. I feel this is the beginning, Gemini, drawing in good allies, drawing in the success, drawing in the good energy into your life again. And maybe even for some of you, drawing in healing. It's like finally the sun is coming out. I feel better in myself. I don't feel like I'm going through that dark valley again. I feel like I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And no, it's not an oncoming train. It is the real thing. It's real. It's I see it. I see the light. And and I want more of it. Bring me more of it. You're welcoming in a whole new light chapter into your life, Gemini. I love it. But how did you get there? You got there by removing your fears, by gaining and leveling up now, because you've gained the strength with Mars there in the 6th house in Scorpio to fight your battles properly. And in some cases, Gemini, not to be a pushover. Now, I know you're not a weak person. You're not a pushover. But you are that person very often who's like, I mean, is it necessary to be mean to a person? Is it necessary? Again, that thing of, can't we all just get along? Sure, they're not perfect, but can't we just find common ground somewhere? No, you have to get over that fear of being kind of balanced here and being more discerning, having a better judgment, and being able to go in and say, right, 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 wrong, wrong, wrong. Challenge me. Am I wrong? You're asking a Gemini, am I wrong? Are you nuts? Have the confidence to follow through with what you've already seen, learned, and clearly understood, Gemini. And once you do that, one thing that you won't have to do anymore is to, endure a situation any longer, endure a fake friendship, endure a fake social scene, group of friends even, endure maybe even fake relationships for some of you. But there's a feeling like, I don't have to endure this. I don't have to grin and bear this anymore. I don't have to go through life anymore feeling hurt by so many people, feeling tricked. I just feel that tricked by people and used by people and deceived by people. That came in very clear there. I'm getting over this. Not all people are like that. Not all people are as sneaky as them. Not all people are as lazy as they are. Not all people are as destructive as they are. Not all people will cause me this amount of pain as that situation has done or those people have done. There are good people out there, and I just have to get over my fear of moving past the negative. And no more grinning, bearing and enduring what I shouldn't have endured for so long. I am ready to, as I said, call in the sun and lead a better, happier life of myself. And in comes your blessing, Capricorn. All the energy in Capricorn this month in your 8th house of transformation. And the big thing too is that your coin is transforming. Before the month ends, I really feel it's either an opportunity or an idea or a sense or a feeling or a door just opening into not just increasing your money a bit, but to hugely increasing your money. There could be an opportunity to make an investment, or an opportunity from people who want to invest in you could come. Or a new relationship or a new partnership, business partnership or whatever, that's more productive. It's like a gift. I can do this all on my own, but now because I can do it on my own, I'm ready not to do it on my own. I want people to come in and help me increase my happiness. The difference is I don't desperately need it. And that's the lesson you've learned. Gemini, I just have such a strong feeling with you as we go through 2020. You are really not just leveling up personally, but leveling up with your coin in a huge way, in a huge, expansive Jupiter in the 8th house way. Huge. So go with this energy and go beyond your fears, Gemini. If you don't go beyond your fears, you'll waste this wonderful energy. Do it. Do that project. Do that career thing. Do that thing with your money. Do that big decision that you have to make and go beyond your fears. And then the gifts will just keep rolling in. Gemini, that was very strong energy. As I was going into the end of it, it seems that your attitude, the more you call in the good stuff and have more discrimination and discernment and wise judgment and the ability to act upon that wise judgment, and the more you say, no, it's only the good stuff from now on, it seems to very quickly manifest for you. You seem to be very quickly blessed. And through 2020, abundantly blessed. See why it's worth clearing the decks, making big decisions and going beyond your fears. As I said now a couple of times, because success lies beyond our fears. Yeah, so that was kind of intense. Anyway, Gemini, I'm going to leave it at that. I loved what I read there and I'm very happy for you. But Gemini, you know these are just the general energies. You know by now what to do, where to come for the real deep insight into your relationship. Singles, what's going on in Sagittarius season for love, money, career, family, friends, and everything else we don't talk about here. We go right deep into it in the VIMEO readings, the deep read. So Gemini, go down into the description box. There's a link there. Click into it. Come on over. I'll meet you over there and we'll dive deep. But if not, my love, I'm going to leave you with all that great, strong, I feel positive energy for you. And as always, my beautiful, I'm going to leave you with all my love and a great big kiss for success from me to you. Mwah. Until next month, my beautiful. Bye.